Tower with 5342 on Mount Vernon visual, runway 1.
Blue 5342, Washington Tower, 1 star, 320 17, gust 25, can you take runway 33?
Yeah, we can do 33 for Blue 5342.
Blue 5342, that's a Wilson Bridge, thanks for runway 33, runway 33, clear for land.
Thanks for runway 33, runway 33 for land, Blue 5342.
American 4782 by Baton, Mount Vernon visual.
American 472, Washington Tower, 1 star, 320 17.
This is wind. Tower, did you see that?
American 472, American 3130, go around, turn left end, 250, climb maintain 3000.
Okay, left heading 350, 3000, American 3130.
Tower, Blue Streak 5347 is on final. Request runway 33, circle to 33.
Crash, crash, crash. This is alert 3. Crash, crash, crash. This is alert 3. Crash, crash, crash. This is alert 3. Oh, shit. Where's the alert 3? It is off the approach end of runway 33. Approach end of runway 33. Helicopter crash. Helicopter. Yes, copies. Copy out this morning. Crash. This is alert 3. 2 helicopters. Helicopter CRJ approach end of runway 33.
So, of course, you wonder how could this possibly happen in 2025? 5 years after ADS-B, an airliner in communication with the tower in Washington, D.C. How does something like this happen? And obviously this is recent. There's still a lot more to find out. There's still a lot more to learn from this. But there's a few things we can take away today that can maybe make us safer for tomorrow. Some of those things, it's a very normal thing really for a CRJ to come into Washington, D.C. on the Mount Vernon Visual 1. And because it's a very busy airport, a lot of operations, a lot of small airplanes, CRJs, 319s, 320s, 73s, going in and out of there, high volume of traffic. They have 2 runways, 119 is the main one, but it's normal to be on the visual for 1 and for them to say, hey, are you able to accept 33, especially for a CRJ coming into land, light, winds are favorable, can you do it? That allows them to launch another aircraft off of runway 1, clear up some of the congestion in the holding area of aircraft waiting to take off, and get another airplane down onto 33 safely. Very normal to do that, but as you make that sidestep, you're probably already on the ILS for 1, or essentially on the glide path, even though it is a visual. And so as you sidestep and you're flying a longer path to 33, you inevitably wind up a little low, or you'll have to arrest your descent. You're coming down at 700 feet a minute. Now we have to immediately slow as we cross the bridge and start the sidestep maneuver to 200, 300, 400 feet per minute sink rate to try to arrest that and lengthen it out and kind of drag it into 3-3. Ultimately, the CRJ ended up pretty much where I would expect them to. Maybe low, maybe high, but pretty much where they needed to be. The helicopter, of course, flying along those routes, that's pretty normal. A lot of helicopters are going up and down the Potomac, 100, 200, 300 feet AGL. All day long. They're in communication with the tower. They have other frequencies they can communicate on as well. And it's very busy airspace, but those controllers, when I was flying there, were super on the money. And even the busier it got, the slower and more paced they would speak and maintain a proper, safe cadence. So ultimately you have the pilots in the CRJ, you have the Blackhawk, you have the controllers, and all 3 of those people, all 3 are on the same team looking for the same outcome, trying to ultimately be efficient and be safe. But with that efficiency, it doesn't always work so well with safety, and this is where we can learn some things. There's more times than I care to admit that I've been flying and ATC, when things are very busy, asks, do you have the traffic in sight? No, no joy, not in sight. And then they ask again, in the second or third time, you're a little bit more pressured to say, yes, I have them in sight if you think you do, or maybe you have them, or maybe you had them, but then you lose them. And the frequency is so busy, you don't want to jump in. You don't want to be the squeaky wheel. So it's very easy at night or in the daytime when traffic's far away, when you're in congested area, you see 3 airplanes, but which one is ATC really calling out to you? Which one is a factor that could be getting closer to you? Also, what I've seen recently as people come and train with us in Alaska, right now we're here in Patagonia, very similar, Alaska, Patagonia, the two two extremes, but very similar places. We're flying Cessna 180s, Cubs, 170s, and the first thing I see students do when they come here or into Alaska to train with us is they take their 10-inch iPad, they're from California or Florida or Texas, and they throw their 10-inch iPad up in the windscreen blocking 20 or 30% of their field of view, and they throw their Stratus on top of the dash, and they say, this is so I can see traffic, because where I'm at in Alaska, there's over 100 airstrips within 40 miles of us. I mean, it's just a massive aviation mecca. It's incredible, but a ton of traffic and a ton of low, slow VFR traffic, maybe talking on the radio, maybe not, most likely without ADS-B. And what I see these students do is they go, it's cool, I have traffic 2 miles, and they're looking. And I take the iPad down and go, yeah, what about the traffic that's a quarter mile away that you couldn't see because the iPad's blocking your field of view? Or you're looking down at the iPad on your knee instead of looking out the window for all the traffic out there. So things we can take away. Technology is not always going to save you. You have to really rely on visual avoidance. And also those gut feelings, and this goes back into the communication. You don't want to be the squeaky wheel with ATC. You want to keep things moving smoothly. You know, we're trying to move a lot of airplanes in and out of DC. Like, time is money. They're burning a lot of fuel, trying to stay on schedule. But what's it worth? And obviously, no one's going to say that it was worth this. But it's so easy in the day to day to just cut a little corner here and a little corner there, because we're not doing something dangerous. It's not super, irregular. We do this all the time. But it's oftentimes those things that happen all the time, those super routine flights that just a small thing changes, like nighttime, a helicopter coming close to an airplane, they report each other in sight, or the helicopter says, yeah, I'll pass behind them. And he had the other airplane. There's so many airplanes in that airspace. It is busy airspace. It's congested. And you would hope that with 2 pilots in the CRJ and 2 pilots in a helicopter that would be avoided, along with TCAS and resolution advisories and traffic advisories. But RAs are inhibited below a certain altitude. And the technology, it's so important to understand how it works, because although it works wonderfully at 2,000 or 3,000 feet, maybe it works different in the terminal environment. Or maybe you get so many nuisance messages of all these TAs that you just disregard all of them because there's so many airplanes around, but you don't pay attention to the one that's actually a threat. Try to listen to that gut feeling. Try to slow down, and don't be afraid to speak up or be that squeaky wheel. Don't be afraid to report traffic not in sight 3 times to ATC and work with them, even as annoyed as they sound in their voice, to work with them to find that traffic or change your flight path or possibly go around or extend your flight or go out of your way, or they have to go out of their way, whatever it is, to make sure something like this doesn't happen. This is a bad one. This isn't 2 Cessnas hitting each other, which is also terrible. But this is over 60 people that won't ever see their families again. Their families won't see them. The fathers, the mothers, the kids, grandparents, aunts, uncles. Like, it's bad. And I think we all want to avoid things like this. And it just takes those little steps to make sure that we can avoid it. Make sure you're not relying on technology. Make sure you're looking out the window. Make sure you're putting that extra little bit of effort into looking inside, looking outside, looking inside, looking outside. As exhausting as it is, continuously, vigilantly doing that. And also, don't be afraid to be the squeaky wheel. If you're unsure, especially in congested airspace, but any type of airspace. I'm pretty unsure flying around here in Patagonia. A lot of Spanish on the radios down here. I'm not afraid to simply say, estoy gringo, no sé. I need some help. So don't be afraid to be that person. At the end of the day, whether you're in DC, Alaska, Patagonia, California, wherever you are, please fly safe, be patient, take your time, have a safe 2025, and please keep the families and the people that were on the Blackhawk, on the CRJ, and the first responders all in your prayers.